What's up guys, I'm finally getting around to making my annual Fingerboard Collection video. Before I begin, I'm just going to start off with the usual. Nothing is for trade or sale. Number 2, can you have a deck for free? No. So that's it for that. Now on to the collection, and I hope you guys enjoy. First, I'm going to start with Flatface decks. First off is a Flatface G10. This is a G11 with FBS. And this one's also a G11, and it also has FBS on top. This was my first professional fingerboard, and this is a Flatface G12. It has their spinal wides on it, and Teflon bushings, and old rip tape. Another G12, this one is the John Cowart Pro model, and has FBS. This is one of their limited edition ones. It was a G12 extra wide, and it was a hand-painted finger series, painted by Harold Scone. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name, but his artwork is pretty incredible. And it has FSS slippy tape on the bottom and to protect the signature. Another one of their limited edition decks. This one is a G13 Smiling Death graphic deck with FBS. This one's a G13 old school, and it's number 5 of 6, and it has FBS on top. Another limited edition one, this is also a G14, and it is the J graphic in blue, and it has FBS on top. A G14, it's the spot color graphic. It is the regular shape, because they offered 2 different shapes for this one. It has dump trucks, Flatface team bushings, and Substance 0 Plus clear wheels. Another G14, this graphic was called American TV Dream. It has wide trucks on there with purple teak tuning, Flatface G6E single bearing wheels, and FBS. This was a limited edition board for their 10th anniversary. This is the black version, and it's a G14. It was a wood print graphic. It has 29mm Black River trucks, the mean green colorway, and Black River pivot cups with TKY tuning. I'm not sure what wheels are on here, and the tape is Affliction Gription. This one's a G15 Pop Shove It graphic with FBS. This is another hand-painted one from the same artist that did the Finger series, and it's a G15, and it has FBS. The next group of decks is going to be Berlinwoods. First up is a Berlinwood Old Mold longboard, and this was actually a board from one of the last stocks that Timo ever made. So it was right around 2007 that he made the last stock of these Old Mold longboards. This is another Old Mold Berlinwood, but this is a regular popsicle shape, and it has old rip on top. When I originally bought this Berlinwood back in about 2009, this shape was known as Berlinwood New Molds, but now that nearly a decade has gone by, this is now known as the Old Mold or Classic shape. I believe they're both the same. Before it was super scuffed, this was their Pirate graphic. It has Redemption wide trucks, Redemption tuning, and FBS. This is from their extra wide low mold, and it's the spray can graphic. This one is the gray can. They had about 4 or 5 other colors, I believe, available for this graphic, and I am not sure what tape is on top. This is a really rare Berlinwood. I've only seen one of these made, but I believe there's at least a few others out there. This was a collaboration between Berlinwood and a company called Rainbow Wood. Not sure which mold this is from, but this one's an awesome swirl that goes through the entire board, even on the plies. And this was from Fast Fingers 18. It says Fast Fingers right there. And it has the Berlinwood engraved rip tape. This one's either a wide or wide low, and this is another Fast Fingers graphic. This one is from Fast Fingers 16. And it's a puzzle piece split deck, and these were limited to only 50. And this is one of my favorites from my collection. The next brand is going to be Broken Knuckle decks. So this first one I have here is one that I won in one of their Halloween contests back in like 2013-ish. It has Broken Knuckle orange trucks and Broken Knuckle tuning, and then just regular Tech Deck wheels, and then Broken Knuckle Neo tape on top. This is from their 3010 mold. This was their own graphic, and it has Tech Deck Competition Series, trucks, tuning, and wheels. and it also has BKF Neo tape. This one's from their 25-25 mold, and this is another Halloween special edition graphic that I won in a different Halloween contest a few years later. And this has their second version of tape that they came out with, which was known as BKF Chape. This one was from their 25-25-10 mold, and this was one of their 4-ply decks that they tried out, and this graphic was known as the Orup graphic, and this also has BKF Chape on it. Not sure which mold this is from. This board was thrown in as an extra from somebody when I purchased something else from them, but it has no comply blue base plates and purple hangers, as well as no comply tuning, and then Redemption SF single bearing wheels, and Creekwood tape. Next group of boards is from Homewood. This is an M4 from their Metal Series collection. The entire deck is pressed out of a solid piece of metal, so that's pretty sweet. This, of course, is the green one, and on top it has Green Ed signature tape. Another M4, this one is in magenta. It has Tech Deck wide trucks on there, Redemption tuning, and No Comply Foamy J. Another M4 in blue, and No Comply Foamy J again. I believe the only other colorway they had of these metal decks was the orange one, so if anyone out there is selling an orange one, I would love to complete the collection. That'd be pretty sweet, so comment below. This is from their mid shape, and this was their bird graphic. In the clear version, they had different finishes you could get. This one's clear, so you can still see the veneer underneath. And there are some broken Tech Deck trucks on there, because that's super useful. And rip tape. This is an M5 blank. It has a really awesome lacewood bottom ply. This was a custom that I designed on their website many years ago, and it has FBS on top. The next company is Affliction Fingerboards. They're no longer in business, but this was my deck sponsor for several years before they shut down, so I have quite a few really sweet decks from them. First up is their M deck, and this was a graphic deck that had their logo on it, and it has Savage trucks and tuning and FBS. This was my main setup for a pretty long time. This one's also the same shape as the last one. It's an M deck. This one is a split ply, and this was actually the first split ply to come out of this company, so that was pretty cool, because back then split ply decks were a little bit more uncommon than they are now. And it has dump trucks, no comply SS bushings in black, and then the white wheels are no comply roll 9s, and I'm pretty sure the black one is a no comply V6, and it also has FBS on top. This one was their FX shape, and it has wide trucks matte X2 on there with red and white yellowwood bushings. The wheels are Winkler's Black River Edition, and the tape on top is Affliction Encryption. This is another FX deck, except this one had a shorter wheelbase to try out, and it has wide trucks on there, white base plates with blue hangers, and Affliction tuning in black. Finger Mafia slim wheels in yellow, which I believe these are from Malaysia. You don't see those too often. And it has 4-corner tape on top. This is an F deck, and it has Woody Wood trucks in blue with black base plates, yellow Woody Wood tuning. It has no comply wheels. I forget exactly which model those are, and then Affliction Gription on top. This deck never officially had a name for the mold, because this was the last shape they made right before they shut down, so it was never official. These were just sent to me to try out when I was sponsored, but the graphic was known as a 6-4 graphic, and there are red Woody Wood trucks with black base plates, clear Woody Wood bushings, and then the wheels, I believe, are Flatface G6Xs, and this also has Affliction Gription on top. This one's the same deal as the other one. It was from the same mold, but this was a blank that I drew my own graphic on and put FSS slippy tape on the bottom to protect it. It just has some China wides with red base plates and black hangers. It has TKY bushings and BRR edition flat face wheels. I forget which model those are as well. And then Affliction tape. Next up is Beast Pants. This is their domesticated shape, and it's an undead logo deck. This was actually a prize from one of the Spooky Fingers events, so I'm not sure if this was a 1 out of 1 deck or if they also made a few more, but you could only get these at the event, which I actually didn't even go to. Someone just happened to be selling this from their collection, so I thought it'd be a pretty cool thing to add to mine. And I'm pretty sure there's FBS on top, but the person I bought it from was not positive. This one's from the Feral mold, and it's a Smoking Cat split ply, and it has comfy grip on top. This one's also from their Feral mold, and it's a Smoking Cat Thrashwear graphic, and it has the awesome FBS Beast Pants engraved tape. Next up is Wood Guest. We have this one here. I'm not sure what shape it is, and I'm also not sure what the graphic is. Also not sure on what mold it's from, but it's a Flatface Simon Says graphic deck with rip tape on top. This was one of my first fingerboards actually, and this one is from their classic plus shape. It's the cartoon graphic, and it has FBS on top. Next up is No Comply decks. First up is one of their Sliders decks. This was like a spoof of White Castle, and it has Tech Deck black trucks on there. This truck has Tech Deck tuning, and then this one has some random black bushings in there and FBS on top. This is from the M2W mold, and this is the Todd Cuzzert No Comply Kids graphic. This is a No Comply Akana wood with Creekwood tape. Next up is one of my all-time favorite companies, which is Yellowwood. I've always been a really big fan of their graphics, so I have quite a few of these. First up is their Z1 mold, Logs graphic, and it has FBS. Z1 Slingshot graphic. This is one of my all-time favorite color matching setups because I wanted this deck for a while. This is the Brody Davis Pro Model deck. It has Savage chrome trucks with black Savage tuning. And then the cool part about these wheels is that they're No Comply dual bearing lab wheels in Rasta, and these were actually when Todd was still testing them out, so these were one of the first lab wheels ever produced, so that's pretty cool. And it wouldn't be my favorite setup if it wasn't topped with FBS. This is another one from that same graphic series, so it's a Z1 as well, Daniel Linkvis. I believe that's how you say his last name. He was also one of my favorite fingerboarders growing up. And there's a few other from this series, so this is another thing that I'd definitely be on the hunt for if anyone's selling is the graphics from this collector series. Z1 Time Glass graphic and old rip tape. Z1 Path graphic, old rip tape. Z1 Dork graphic with freestyle graphic emulsion tape. Z2 Spanish Flag with Yellowwood tape. Z2 Red Curls graphic. This is another one that was one of my first few boards that I ever purchased, and FBS. This is a Z2 Extra Wide pencil graphic, old rip tape. Z2 Money graphic, not sure what kind of grip. Z2 Judah graphic with FBS. Z2 Y Trucks 2 graphic. Z3 Pool shape. It has chrome dump trucks and green Chubbs bushings and just some CNC bluish gray wheels. The last one I have is a Z4 Sardine graphic, and it's half some type of foam tape, half skate grip. Next up is Savage decks. This one is a cruiser shaped split ply deck. It has Tech Deck longboard wheels on there, Tech Deck tuning, some yellow pivot cups, and blue gator wheels, FBS. This is a cherry blossom split ply, has Savage trucks in tuning as well, and then the wheels are Flatface G5s, FBS. Next up is a Heart split ply deck. It has wide trucks with gold base plates. The white bushings are Black River. Not sure what the red one is from. It has Savage white pivot cups and Flatface G6A turquoise wheels and FBS. This is a Rising Sun split with rip tape engraved. This is a graphic deck with FBS. You're all gonna be jealous of this one, guys. It's a Zac Efron graphic, you heard right, with gold wide trucks, limited edition teak tuning in checkered, which is 2 blacks and 2 whites, and FBS. This was a special custom graphic. It was a Pop-Tart one with my name on it. It has 29mm Black River trucks with giraffe print back when that was a thing, when people would put nail graphics on their trucks. The bushings are witchcrafts in teal, and the wheels are Flatface dual durometers, white and turquoise. And Affliction gription on top. This one's my main setup. It just has broken knuckle fingerboard trucks and tuning, Flatface G60s in pink, and FBS. Super simple, but it performs like crazy. This was when I did a collaboration with Savage, and there were 8 of these freestyle edition decks made. It has yellow wides with teak neon green bushings, white Flatface G60s, and FBS. Next up is Boss decks. First up is a Boss red logo deck. It has wides, white teak tuning, and then Roswell single bearing wheels in blue, FBS. This is another Boss that was thrown in as an extra, so I don't know which shape it's from or the name of the graphic. Next up is Scott B decks. This was another one of my first fingerboards, Scott B deck. Really old Redemption flow tape. I wish I still made this because this used to be my favorite tape for a really long time. Another Scott B. This graphic was called Adopt Us graphic, and it has FBS on top. I forget which this graphic was called, but it was pretty cool because if you look at it this way, it actually says SB Decks for Scott B Decks, but then if you turn it this way, it looks like a person, so that's pretty cool. On top of the graphic is FSS slippy tape to protect it, Redemption wide trucks with Redemption tuning, blue pivot cups, and no comply non-bearing smoothie wheels. 4 corner tape. Next up is Eminent decks. First up is an original shape. These were a limited edition and you could only get them at Battle of the Beast. Once again, I actually did not attend that event, but luckily someone was willing to sell this from their collection. So that's pretty cool. Only 10 of these were made. This is another one of their limited edition collaboration decks. This is their Define shape. Only 15 of these Flatface editions were made. It has some type of graphic protector on there, wides with black base plates, and then limited edition teak release blue bushings. The red wheels are just 4 corner single bearing wheels. The black ones might be no comply V6s, not sure. 4 corner FB tape on top. Eminent OG mold. This was also thrown in as an extra of something I bought from somebody before. Just has yellow base plates on there and Koch tape. Next up is Lowepro decks. This is a Lowepro family shape. The graphic is called the Free Fun graphic. This was also thrown in as an extra from somebody. This is another one of my first decks. It's a Lowepro hand painted deck, so it's pretty cool. You can see the gradient goes from pretty light to almost like a greenish towards the top, and it has Lowepro tape on top. Next up is Idol. This is a collaboration deck that Idol did with Freestyle. This is from their Pause mold, and this was one of 2 graphics. This was the Slushy Bear graphic, and I actually forgot to grab the Slushy logo deck that we also offered for this collaboration, but I'll just show a picture of it right here. This one has Tech Deck longboard trucks on it, purple narshings for the bushings. The trucks have pink base plates with yellow pivot cups, Flatface party swirl wheels, and Freestyle logo emulsion tape in blue. Next up is Closeup. This is a Closeup G3. This is a super old board from the fingerboard scene. It's a spot color Flatface edition board. It has Closeup trucks, metal core wheels, and also their Closeup tuning and Closeup foam tape. Okay, next up is Catfish BBQ. This is the only Catfish BBQ deck that I have. This was another deck that was thrown in as an extra when I bought something else from someone. It's the saltwater mold, and it has FBS on top. Next up is Redemption. This is a pretty old Redemption board. This is from their hybrid mold, and this was their Unite graphic, which was in honor of Unite Fingerboarding, which was an awesome fingerboard news website that's not around anymore. But I bought this graphic from them because I used to check that website every day for all the updates on the scene, so that was pretty cool. This was the original version of the graphic. They ended up making a second one where the white of the graphic was a little bit more brighter, as opposed to this being more of like the bottom ply of the veneer being maple. So yeah, this was the original of the graphic. It's pretty cool to have in a collection. White base plates are still on there, and then Also has redemption flow tape. I have this Evolve, not sure which mold it is from or the name of the graphic. This is a shop deck, FBS. This is a truth deck, scratch out graphic. It has white redemption wides with purple base plates. I'm not sure what kind of tuning is on here. And then the wheels are just some like blue China wheels, and it has FBS on top. This board was from my first sponsor ever. This was back in like 2009. Someone that I met on the Tech Deck forums. That's how vintage this is, but this board is awesome. It's from a company called Probe Boards, and this was their birds graphic. I put Tech Deck Competition Series trucks, wheels, and tuning on there, and it has rip tape. This is an Opal. I believe this is from one of their first stocks that they made, and it has, I think, FBS. This is a TP deck, also not sure what mold it's from. This was another deck that was thrown in as an extra, and it has FBS. Another deck thrown in as an extra. This is from a user named Fruit Troll on YouTube that he made, and it has just yellow and green skate grip on there. This is a Woob cozy shape. It has 32mm Black River trucks on there, the super silver colorway, white Witchcraft bushings, and Winkler Classics, the white ones that have the blue Winkler wheels graphic on them. FBS. Next up is a couple decks I have from Subconics FB. This is a Subconics FB. It has blue and white swirled Narshings, white base plates, and Tech Deck Longboard wide trucks. I think the wheels are Flatface G7As. I actually lost one of these. I think it was the last time I filmed my last collection videos. I lost that wheel and never found it. So if anyone's selling one Flatface G7A, hit me up. And this had freestyle graphic emulsion tape on top. This was another Subconics FB deck that he made for me. It has this really sweet bottom ply and an awesome top ply. And it's not lacquered, which I think is awesome because you actually get like the true wood grain of the board, so that's pretty cool. This was another extra thrown in a long time ago. This is from a company called Billboard, and it has no comply foamy J on top. Another extra thrown in. This is a cruiser, not sure what brand or what trucks, tuning, wheels, anything tape is on it. Everything's unknown, but it's a pretty sweet little cruiser. Once again, another extra that was thrown in a long time ago. This is a solid metal deck. This is pretty cool. This is when a lot of people were trying metal bottom plies for the first time. It has Tech Deck Competition Series trucks, wheels, and tuning, and rip tape on top. Next up, another deck thrown in as an extra. This is from a company called Monster Fingers, and it has FBS on top. Another oldie but a goodie. This is a Frost G3 Mellow Mold, and it has BKF tape on top. This is from a company called Morningwood. Yes, you heard that right. This was a carbon fiber bottom plied deck, so it's super light, and it has rip tape on top. The last board I have to show today is from a company called Finger Blister Accessories, or FBA. This was a regal shaped deck. This was a custom that I designed a long time ago on their website. It has glow in the dark on the bottom ply, regular Tech Deck trucks and Tech Deck wheels, green and yellow pivot cups, and then limited edition Witchcraft bushings that were also glow in the dark to match, and clear skate grip on top. Alright guys, that concludes this year's Fingerboard Collection video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you guys thought in the comments below, and also what kind of videos you guys would like to see in the future. These Fingerboard Collection videos are one of the more requested ones I get, so when I get a video that has a lot of requests, I try to make as many of them as I can. All your feedback is always appreciated and taken into consideration. One of my favorite parts about collecting fingerboards has always been to see the progression that fingerboarding has over the years. So a lot of the older boards either are super thin, like 27 millimeters, or they have paper graphics, or are made with only like a few plies of wood, things like that. And then you see them progress to some of the newer boards where they're 34 millimeters, heat transfer graphics, and things like that is like a lot more innovative. Seeing where fingerboarding is now and then is a really cool way to build a collection. So yeah, it's really one of the big reasons why I collect, even though I really haven't purchased any new boards in a long time, although you wouldn't believe it by seeing this. A lot of these did come from many years ago. So that's all for today, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.